Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to the Saturday Bhagavad Gita class. We are reading from chapter 1 and we are in the portion where Arjuna talks about his compassion to the souls they are around, whether they are his elders, brothers, youngers, and grandfather-like people. So in that portion we are. So let's chant the Mangalacharan prayers first together. Open your introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Keep your microphones open and let's chant. Are we ready?
Yes.
Om Ajnatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhabhishtam स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुताः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुर्वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं
Hare
कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
हरे
Ram
राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare.
I thought we already chanted 3 times, so I stopped. My bad. All right. So we were chanting last week. We were reading from 29th verse, right? So 29th verse talks about that how Arjuna becomes so emotional after seeing all his people there, because he asks Krishna to take the chariot in the middle of the two armies. It tells him that, Senayorubhyorabhadye, so you take it to me in between the two armies, and I'm going to see who, because of the mad Duryodhan, wants to fight. And fight with what? Fight with the Yuyutsavaha. So he is trying to fight with us in a spirit of killing or get killed in that spirit. So who are those mad people? I mean, getting mad because of Duryodhan. So that was his question. And then once he goes there and sees that, that who all are there, his grandfathers, guru-like people, uncle-like people, and his siblings, though they are cousins. And then and few are the very young people, those, they're like his sons, his nephews, his all those kind of people. So he was very surprised because some people have to side Kauravas because they were working for them. So that time the concept was that namak harami nahi kar sakte aap. So, so you have to be namak, jiska namak khaya hai, you have to fight from their end, So that was very, very clear. And that's the reason they have to side. So he was feeling very bad about it. And that's the reason in 1.29 verse, he says that, ve puthascha sharire me rom harsha jayate. He says, now after seeing this, my body is trembling with fear. My body is trembling with fear. My hands, my uh, hair are standing on end of my body because I can see that this is very, very bad. And it is the symptoms of getting breakdown. When someone gets into depression, what happens? He gets scared. Once he gets scared, so these kind of all, uh, uh, you know, these kind of symptoms, they come out of the body, So he absolutely goes and he breaks down. But he says that Gandivam traste hasta takchaiva paridayyate. Gandivam means his dhanush, right? So he was his dhanush was called Gandiva, and it is as if it is going to fall off from his hand. Gandiva was his shastra. So Kshatriya will never give away his whatever weapon he is holding and belongs to him. He will never give it until he is alive. Until he is alive. So that's how the concept as far as Kshatriyas are concerned. And here, what is happening with him? He's about to, well, he's trying to hold the Gandiva, but it is slipping from his hands. So that is the condition that he is into. So how much? So does it mean that he was scared? He was afraid of fighting? No, he was not afraid of fighting. He was getting emotional and compassionate. The reason being, he thought that, oh, am I going to kill all these people of my own? People to whom I have played with right from my childhood. The people, those who have taught me all the, battle
skills,
tricks and tips, and they have trained me. Those like gurus like Dronacharya, Kripacharya, all these people, and I'm going to kill them. This is not fair. I can't do that. So he is getting really very compassionate and emotional after seeing this. So he says, Gandivam Shamaste Hastata. Arjuna is giving first person report to what he is happening over here, and he's telling what is happening to him, to Krishna. So I'm talking to you, and against my will, Gandiva is slipping from my hand. So I gave an example last time, I think, about the lady is holding a cup of tea and plate and tea that normally, in the movies that we see. And after hearing some bad news, her hands start trembling, right? We all must have seen that. So generally, emotions affect on female body is more quickly. So they start crying easily, etc. But one male body, it is less affected. And for warrior to feel that his weapon is slipping is emotionally very troubling experience. So he doesn't want, or he never wanted Gandiva to let go, but it is slipping from his hand. And then tak chaiva paridhyayate. My whole body is burning sensation. Whole skin is inflamed with very strong emotions are there. And Arjun is trying to describe this emotion, what he's trying to say. So he's trying to convey to Krishna how seriously he is affected. how strong his reactions are in terms of avishto, in terms of how he is overwhelmed. So interestingly, in 1.28, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said that Arjun is a pure devotee and it is a sign of compassion. While in 1.29 purport, he said that all these are due to the material conception of life. So what exactly is happening over here? So in scriptures, while explaining Lord's pastime, the emphasis it is not on what is right and what is wrong, but what is the learning for us there. In Lord's pastimes, everything is orchestrated by Lord and devotees are showing exalted characteristics. So one perspective is Arjun is exhibiting compassion and concern, which is a noble quality. And in devotees, another perspective of looking at this things is, yes, Arjun is a pure devotee, right? So Arjun is a pure devotee. That's why his heart is so soft that he can feel the emotion for others. He's coming under Yoga Maya because of this, from the material perspective, and acting like a conditioned soul. So when he is acting as a conditioned soul, we can think what is the philosophical point which can be learned when he is acting as a conditioned soul. Although he is not a conditioned soul, from this perspective, Srila Prabhupada is saying he is acting on the bodily and material conception of life. Because whatever we are seeing in Bhagavad Gita's this description, it is all Krishna's plan, right? Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna. He is acting on behalf of us to show us that how one should behave. And he is behaving like us over there in order to exhibit that pastime of Krishna so that Krishna can give further instructions going forward. So when we say that he's working on the as a conditioned soul, so what does it mean? Conditioning means that our soul is in this body, male body or female body. Okay. So when somebody is in the male body, he behaves like a male. Soul is in the female body, he will behave like, soul will behave like female. So there is a difference. But when they are there, there are bodily characteristics as well. When the male body, they are much stronger. And in the female body, they are not that stronger. They are more emotional, etc., etc. So depending on the outer covering, you will behave, right? Maruti car has an engine, Ambassador has an engine, Toyota also has an engine. They all run with specific speeds because there are additional attributes to that. Along with the engine, that engine is powerful, less powerful, more powerful, working as a truck or working as, very, very weak car like that. So I don't want to say anything bad about Maruti or anything, any car, but you got the point, right? So it is depending on which condition it is in. So the conditioning means what? We say air conditioning. What is air conditioning? We get conditioned to that air, which is giving us perfect air by which we feel good. Now, once the aircon is on, we feel so good. Because in the summer, we can't live without air conditioning. So we are becoming conditioning to that cold air. When the temperatures are about 23 or 22 and a half, we are good. I remember one thing, that when people switch on the aircon and you have monitor there to regulate, people try to bring it to 18 or 19 like that. Okay, I just want very cold in there. What happens after some time? They start shivering because it's too cold. Your body cannot tolerate. So one air conditioning mechanic came to our house and he told me that you don't put it on that because your body cannot tolerate that. Keep it on 23. 23 is the temperature which is very good for the body. and you can tolerate that. Even if your air con is running for the whole day, you will not feel cold. So keep it on 22.5 or 23, depending on your bodily construction. But normally 23 should be good, as that he explained that to me, and since then we are using it like that. And because we have a solar panels installed in our house, so there is no electricity bill. There's zero electricity bill, so we can run it whole day. Even in the winters, we can run the heater the whole day to keep our body, because we are body conscious people. End of the day, though we are devotee. But of course, we have to take care of our body, and for that, whatever is required, we should do it. And if it is possible for you to do it, please do it. Like that. So we don't want to unnecessarily become a sadhu and unnecessarily tolerate the heat and this and that. What is our main aspect of life is to do the bhakti. For bhakti, other things should be, very cohesive for us in order to do so. If the things are not cohesive, we will not be able to do that. Okay? But yes, we should be increasing our tolerance as we go. That's why in between we have every 15th day we have
Ekadashi.
Ekadashi, where we have to tolerate our urge to eat grain. That's why we do Ekadashi. Some people do Ekadashi without even having water to increase their tolerance. So that is called Nirjala Ekadashi. And one of my devotee friend, Govinda Hari Prabhu, he does every Ekadashi Nirjala. He's been doing it for last 10 years. Every Ekadashi Nirjala, and he's young. He works for IIT, and he is at the moment, I think, the CIO for Sydney Airport. And he does every Ekadashi, Nirjala Ekadashi. Okay. So just a side point. So we have to increase our the tolerance of the bodily needs that we have. Often, they are disturbing us. That I want to eat this, I want to eat that, because we have to take care of our tongue all the time. And yeah, but slowly these fasting increases our tolerance. Yeah. And some people, what they do is on the Ekadashi day, they try to chant more rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so that they can go. Upavas, that is called upavas, right? So upavas means to sit closer to the Lord and do what? Kirtan, or do more rounds, read about him, or chant Vishnu Sahasranam. Yeah. So like this, or read Bhagavatam in front of the Lord, sing something, some bhajan, some kirtan. So like that. So we have to constantly remember Krishna on that day. So here we came to the Yogamaya aspect of this. So Acharyas has explained in the first chapter, Arjun lamentation describes the needs for spiritual knowledge. So when we are in that situation, Arjuna is representing us. So he's putting us in that situation. He is putting himself in that situation so that we learn the lesson from him, that we should see Lord's associates as exalted. And when they go under illusion, we should learn that I should not go under such illusion. So that's why Acharyas have explained in the first chapters like this. So qualification that is required for spiritual knowledge is that you are ready to receive the instructions and follow them. So slowly what do we learn there is we should not remain in the bodily conception of life. So by practicing, one will eventually be bewildered, and if one doesn't want to be bewildered, one is to rise to the higher level of consciousness, and raising to higher level of consciousness happens when one gets spiritual knowledge. So on one side, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita illustrates how worldly situations creates perplexity. For those who don't have spiritual knowledge, and how spiritual knowledge is essential. So in this chapter that we are reading, it also shows qualifications of a soft-hearted, thoughtful, compassionate, submissive a person is who is a very elevated devotee and a friend of Krishna. Yeah. And now the next, so this verse and the next verse describes how material situations create perplexity for those who are in material concept of life. Do we understand now? Verse, what is the background of this? Why Arjuna is behaving like that, and what are his emotions and reactions? That why he is trembling and all those things are happening to him. Yeah. Now, any question before that? We go to the next verse. Okay, verse number 30. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम्
रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम्
रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव
One line at a time. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि च केशव
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव
Once more. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव
Push look at a time. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव
Wonderful. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki.
जय
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself. My mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. I read it again. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Why Prabhupada is saying that killer of the Keshi demon? Because it's a Keshava, Viparitani Keshava. And why he's addressing him as a Keshav here? Because whatever is happening in the mind of Arjun knows that this is only his feeling and it is happening because of his bodily condition or being a conditioned soul that is happening. And that can only be killed by someone who is the one who has even killed the Keshi demon. So any kind of doubt, any kind of feelings, etc., Krishna can give reasons and can answer those questions to kill those kind of feelings. So when one who can kill Keshi demon, he has all the power to do anything, you know. So that Arjun understands, and that's the reason he is saying like that. Okay. So we'll read purport. So may I ask Saloni to please read the purport?
Due to his impatience, Arjun was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam
Bhayam Dvitiya Abhidivesha Satya 11:237 of Bhagavatam. You know? So it is like it goes like this. Bhayam Dvitiya Abhidivesha Tasya Ischa Tapetasya Viparyayo Asmriti. So these are all the features of a person who is conditioned soul. So he has Bhayam Dvitiya Abhinivesha Syat Ishat Apetasya Viparyayo Asmriti. So all these things are going to happen to a person who is on bodily concept of life, one who is in the material concept of life. He will have all these attributes. So you can install one very beautiful app called Gita Base on your mobile, even on iPad. Gita Base, Gitabase. In that, Prabhupada's all books are there. And another is on the browser you can open, from vedabase.io. Also, you can do that. So when I say some verse 11:237 of Bhagavatam, just go to 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 37 verse. It's that simple. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjun envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectation, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjun is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjun thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him.
Yeah. So what is your understanding, Mataji?
So what he's going through is assessing all the loss, the pain, and is it worth it to fight? And it's all painful for him. And it's like there's no win at the end because there would be so many loss of life on both sides, and they're all family members and friends. What's the point of living if you have win something, you want something, but there's no one to enjoy it with?
Yeah. So you are getting into the conclusion of that, but basically what is happening in this particular scenario is what my question was. So maybe Priyanka Mataji.
Yes. Yes. You want me to explain?
What is your realization of this verse? Because Mataji just read the purport. I read the translation. Madhuri Mataji.
I understood like because of this, when he goes in the middle of the both the armies, he like a human being, he felt that what is this? Why I am here like this? This is not going to be anything good for anybody, for both the sides, and that gives him like all his courage is gone. Like what happens to us, like when something
Very
is,
good.
when we see something which is not going to be good for us, we feel we are powerless. Everything is like our mind stops working, our body stops working. So that way he is also feeling like that, like
Mm,
this is
mm.
not going to work for anybody, so his all power is gone, he's feeling like that, and like nothing is going to be in favor of anybody. It is going to be viparita for both the sides.
Again, you went into the conclusion mode. So I'm not asking that. So
Yeah,
let's stick to this particular verse. So maybe
sure.
Uday Prabhu. I can't see Madhavi Mataji there anymore. So yeah, Prabhu. So we read this verse and I read the translation, and Solvi Mataji read the purport. So what is your understanding after the purport was read?
I think anyone who's in material world and material excessiveness is going to suffer. You want, the peace of mind, the isha, the jealousy, the whole cycle of materialism. They won't be connected to spiritualness as much, and they will suffer.
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
something like that. So okay. So this particular verse is basically talking about the person who is perplexed, heavily perplexed. Okay, when somebody is getting perplexed. So if you go to the exam hall and you're not prepared, just imagine you're not prepared. Go to the exam, and the first question itself, you
Mm.
absolutely have no idea what the question is all about. And then उस समय जो पसीने छूटते हैं ना, I don't know whether you have realized that you have come across that situation.
So
Everyone
many
goes through
times.
that, right? Everyone goes through that situation. Even the brightest student also goes through that. Because what I
Even in dreams.
expected that has not come. And that situation, you start, oh my God, ये मेरे को आता ही नहीं. So now the one which you don't know, that is one thing. You all other question which you know the answer, that also goes away from your mind. So there are two kinds of memories. One is RAM. RAM is what? Random access memory.
Mm.
Huh? And one is there, which is stored on the hard disk,
Mm.
which is permanent memory. Yeah. So there are two. In the operating system comes up and then it invokes all that is in the RAM. Okay. And whatever there is stored on the hard disk, we invoke that by opening the documents. This, that, all those. I'm not giving computer class here, but this is how it happens. Okay. So the RAM absolutely for us, when this kind of situation happens, everything goes away. What happened? Oh, I was not expecting that, and this question has come. Now my hands are trembling. I'm getting scared. Pasine aa raha hai, and all that. So you absolutely get scared, and you start forgetting what all you know. So Arjun is actually describing the perplexity in this verse. So nacha chakromyavasthatum brahmati vacha me mana. I am now unable to stand here any longer. So Arjun is standing there ready to fight as a warrior, but now he says that I can't stand here. Not only Gandiva is sleeping, but I cannot stand here anymore. So nacha chaknomi avasthatum, and not only I am affected physically, he says brahmativa cha me manaha. I am feeling vertigo, as if I'm feeling my mind is racing here and there and whatever. And I think of, I don't know what I should do. Nimittani cha pashyami. Viparitani cha keshava. So whatever I am seeing all viparitani. Everything is wrong is going to happen now. It is all inauspicious, indicative of disaster, tragedy. So what is happening in between Lebanon and Iran and Israel at the moment? They are heading towards disaster at the moment. It is indication of a disaster and tragedy. So at another level, this Nimittani means causes or symbol omens. So now speaking, Arjun is having this emotion, and Arjun can also say that all these are omen that is going to happen. Regarding omen, when these are omen that is going to happen regarding this, he is absolutely go deeper and is not able to think from his knowledge compartment anything about it. He's that scared. And on ground, they saw, so many of his relatives and, very dear and dear friends, etc. They were standing and they are standing opposite to him because of the mad Duryodhan, and they are siding him. Because what's happening? How can I kill these people? They are such good friends of mine. So instead of asking why it is happening, even when we are in that situation, we should think how we should serve Krishna in this situation. When a thing doesn't make sense, it may be that we are not able to make sense out of it, but Krishna have planned something for us. It's a lesson learned for us that he has put us into this situation, but that can happen only when we have complete faith in Krishna. It is not like, Krishna will serve you all and then you are, I don't go to the temple. What is the problem? What is the point going to the temple? It's so far away. Who will go? So we don't have our, devotion towards it. But Krishna should help me, whenever I am in this situation. It doesn't happen that way. Even, see, we all are the children of Krishna. A mother will also have 4 children, but she will not love equally to all of them. 1 or 2 will be very, very close to her. Normally the youngest one and the eldest.
Between one's gone.
So that's a practical, way of looking at it. However, when any of those children, if someone does very well in his exams or may get some prize, so she will come close to hug him very lovingly and kiss him or whatever, and make very good, savory items and sweet items for him and feed him. Because the love is there. However, there will be some difference here and there, not much. But this is going to be there. So similarly, we all can be put into this situation, but we can say it is all Krishna's plan for us, and Krishna should come and help me. So Krishna will help them, those who are able to help themselves. What does it mean? That they are helping themselves by remembering. By remembrance of Krishna is what? When morning we get up, we touch the ground, say Karagiri Vastalishmi Karamadde Saraswati Karamuliti Govinda Prabhati Karadashana. Vishnu Patni Namaste. So I'm touching the ground and saying Padasparasham Shamaswami because Bhumi Devi is Lakshmi. Bhumi Devi is Krishna's wife. Okay. So we always remember Krishna in various ways in our life. So Arjun shows us, and he asked Krishna to, one inquires, so we'll not be able to ask Krishna directly. So we can turn to Bhagavad Gita. That's why Bhagavad Gita is the knowledge book for any problem that we have in our lives. It's a guide. It's a guidance to us. Whenever we run into a problem, we go and take shelter of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is none other than Krishna. Like Bhagavatam is none other than Krishna. When we install Bhagavatam at our home, that means we have installed Krishna in our home. So we recommend every devotee, please go and bring Bhagavatam to your home. Install them. We do the installation for everyone whoever goes for Bhagavatam set. And I would recommend all of you to go and have Bhagavatam. Make it a practice that you sit together, husband and wife, and read Bhagavatam. Because it is like, in the story form, whenever we talk about philosophy, people often go off to sleep in the class. But when we talk about the stories, oh, they are all awake, because we are conditioned, We love the 3 hours movie, we don't sleep. But when we come to this one, philosophy kind of, बहुत नींद आ रही है यार. Like this, कब बंद हो रहा है class? But I can see that all you people are very, very sincere, devoted, dedicated. At least you look like that in the class.
No, yeah.
No, I mean it. Don't worry about it. So, my habit is, being sarcastic sometimes. So don't take it to heart. So Srila Prabhupada, in his Prabhupada, he mentions that everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. So no one is interested in the Supreme Self. Because no one is interested in Supreme Self, the conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. So when we are self-centered, sooner or later we will face trouble. And Arjun thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. He says that, okay, I'm here to fight, but if I win, I will lose all my relatives. So what is the point? And I can't leave also, I'm Kshatriya. So as per my Varnashrama Dharma, I can't leave because I'm a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is there to do the proper administration of war. Administration of war meaning either I should kill the bad people or I get killed. So I can't leave. So what I should do? He was seeing everything inauspicious here. So he's in a fix. Sometimes we get into a fix. We go back to India and mother may not have her passport or visa ready. Mother may say, "Beta, mero kab leke jaoge?" So at that time we are into a fix. What should I do? Should I go? Should I stay back with my mother? Enough that I have enjoyed with my wife in the outside world. When am I going to bring my mom here? We all get into that situation. Even I have gone through that situation. I have nothing to only cry at that time because my mother is so old now. I can't bring her here. And the other problem is I can't go there every now and then because of my health situation, family situation like that. So we get into those situations. Just I can't say that it's a Krishna's plan, but maybe Krishna's plan is. You never know. Depending on your sacrifice, your dedication, your bhakti, like that. Priyanka, any question?
No, all good.
She was just thinking about her mother-in-law. So she was thinking
वो आना
about
चाहती हैं, आप ला नहीं पा रहे.
No, we are in very good terms.
No, I'm not talking about that relationship. That's a very sensitive topic. I will never bring it. Because that's a universal truth. Good or bad.
Never get along.
हर किसी को अपनी माँ अच्छी लगती है.
No, that's
So, I'm not going to speak about this. Okay. It's a very, very sensitive topic.
कृष्णा का प्लान है वो सब बस
ऐसा बोल के छोड़ दो.
हाँ
Yeah. Right. Now, any question other than Sas Bahu? Okay. Verse number 31. Na cha shreyonupashyami
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
hatva swajanamahave
हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे
na kankshe vijayam Krishna
न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण
na cha rajyam sukhani cha
न च राज्यं सुखानि च
na cha shreyonupashyami
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि
hatva swajanamahave
हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे
na kankshe vijayam Krishna
न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण
na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
न च राज्यं सुखानि च
One line at a time. Na cha shreyonupashyami hatva swajanamahave
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे
na kankshe vijayam Krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च
Na cha shreyonupashyami hatva swajanamahave na kankshe vijayam Krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च
Yeah. So we are on verse. Now, compassion, after compassion, Arjuna comes to the point of enjoyment from 30 onwards. Verse number 30 onwards. And there is a long purport, which we will read, of course. But the point I am trying to make from 29 to 31 is how will good come from fighting this battle? Is what Arjuna's questions. Purport of verse 30, fifth line down from the top of paragraph. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. This is what Prabhupada says. So Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest. Why is he showing that? Because he is the pure devotee of Krishna. See, look at this. If we get caught in a drowning situation, what a person will do? First, he will save himself. We become such selfish during that time. We don't think of others. If you go into some buffet party as well or somewhere like, you want to get some puris for yourself and your friends or your family. Jitni bachi sari utha lo. Now the person who is coming after you, he may not get one. It's a very, very cheap example. However, it gives us the remembrance of this, that how selfish we can be at that point in time, because you think that, oh, now the puris are over. There's nothing left. So let me take all of these so that I can give it to my wife, my children, my. That can happen, right? we don't think of others. Maybe if there are 8 puris there in the serving bowl, I will take only 2. I'll take only one more one bite of that. My wife will get one bite, like that. If we think and we share all this, you are leaving something for somebody, and that's what Krishna sees. Your intention, your selfish behavior, how unselfish you are, that you can leave it for others. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So we need to think of very practical examples when we are understanding Shastra. We don't have to think very, very, theoretically how Arjuna is thinking. We need to come to our level of understanding and try to look at the situation, that how it can apply to me in my life. That is the practical application of Bhagavad Gita, by which we should be able to remember, oh yes, in that verse, Arjuna has asked this, and this is applies to me. This is applied to him, right? Like that. So when we look at those kind of situations, we always will be reminded of Bhagavad Gita. This is what we studied in the Bhagavad Gita. We read about it. So once a real self-interest lies, actually should lie in Vishnu or Krishna. So we need to elevate ourselves from our bodily concept, our family, my everything, to for everyone. So the conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjun thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. It was still okay, but it was cause of lamentation for those who were to lose their husbands, who were to lose the ladies, who were to lose their children. People, those who were to live to lose their grandparents. All of this is a question of pain. Anyone dying is not good. Death is very, very painful. Even if we say that, oh, we want to go back to Godhead, but do you think that if you are going to lose your life in next 1 hour, you will be happy? For that, how much sacrifice is required? How much understanding of the Shastra is required? How much attachment to our bodily existence we have to give away for that matter. Prabhupada, in his last days, for about 2 months, when he left this body, he stopped eating anything. And 3 weeks before, he even stopped drinking water. And disciples were asking, Prabhupada, please have something at least, so that we can feed you some medication. In the last moment, Prabhupada, he said, okay, if you want me to leave, then you want me to stay, then there is one medication we call Makaradhwaja. So, and that Makaradhwaja making is not easy. There's only few Kaviraja only know how to make it. So he told my Guru Maharaj, his Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj, so that you go and find out that Kaviraj. So he went in Vrindavan to find out. Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to Allahabad to bring one Kaviraj. That Kaviraj came because he knew Prabhupada very well. And he came and tried to make it, but it wasn't that effective. So then another Kaviraj who was in Vrindavan, so Guru Maharaj went and searched for him. Finally, I think he found out. So if you read TKG diary, Tamal Krishna Maharaj's diary, Tamal Krishna Goswami, his diary, in that this reference you will find there. Even my Guru Maharaj's biography, Ocean of Mercy, you will find, you will be able to read this about Prabhupada. So, but he said, what is the use of this body? Which is of no use now. This is only, I have left only bones and the skin on it. There is no flesh left in my body. Whatever I could do, I have done for the community and for Krishna. Krishna will take care of me. Now, I don't want to eat anything, he said. So that is the commitment that I'm talking about. So example I'm giving you, because that was the commitment that Prabhupada had shown. Okay, for you, I am happy to live, but provided this medication can be arranged somehow. Prabhupada was so intelligent. He knew all the Shastras. He knew who will have what medication where, all those things. And he knew the name of the medication as well. It was Makaradhwaja that can be found. But somehow it didn't work out for him and it couldn't be found, couldn't be made. And yeah, so then he took Samadhi there in Vrindavan. And if you go to Krishna Balram temple, on the left-hand side, when you enter left-hand side, it is Prabhupada's Samadhi Mandir.
In Vrindavan?
In Vrindavan.
In Vrindavan?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the Krishna Balram temple, when you enter, that is the first temple Prabhupada established in India.
Let's see, I think.
So, let's take, so did we read the purport of this verse? No, we haven't, right?
No, we have.
Yeah, Adrik, do you want to read, please?
Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjun appears to have even forgotten the causes of forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies on the battlefront and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjun is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kins,
Kinsmen.
kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjun has no kingdom. Arjun's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration.
So what basically Arjuna is talking here about, and the purport, the what central idea of this purport is that Arjuna is talking about what is the Shreya that he is going to get if he fights this battle. So there are three things, you know. He's talking about Shreya. Shreya is long-term good and prayas short-term goal. Shreyas is a short-term goal and prayas is short-term goal and Shreyas is the long-term goal, target or benefit. So he's talking about these two things here, prayas and Shreyas. A student in a college think that there is a party. Let me go to party. There is a cricket match. Let me go to cricket match. And that is prayas or prayas. So immediate pleasure is there, but someone thinks in terms of career, there is study and I have come to college to study. And if I will study more and more, then there is a long-term career ahead of me. Nacha shreyo dupashyami. So Arjun he's saying that I am thinking about Shreya. I'm not thinking about from Priyas perspective. I'm thinking from long-term point of view. What will I gain if I'm not thinking about just a short-term goal? If I'm thinking only about the war and winning the kingdom, I'm thinking about after war. After getting the kingdom, after that, nacha shreyo no pashyami. What kind of shreya will I get? I don't see any good. And then he uses the word hatva. Hatva by killing or by murdering. Hatva swa janam. Hatva swa janam ahave. If in battlefield I will kill swa jana. So Arjun has again used swa jana. So these are my relatives and naka kankshe vijayam krishna. What will be the pleasure of my teacher, my grandfather? They are all dead. What will the pleasure left for me? How can I kill them? So hatva swa janam ahave. I cannot kill them. And in Mahabharata, for first 9 days, Bhishma dominated, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj remembered that Bhishma told him to approach him when the time will come, and then he will tell them how he will be killed. So Pandavas approached him and he said, if Shikhandi is in front of him, he will not shoot arrows. So when they were returning, Arjun became sentimental and told Krishna how I can kill him because he was very loving and affectionate relation within him. So he said that when he was child, then he will be coming running in from the playground and got his lap and soil his clothes. He will play with his beard and said, Father, Father, Father. So that time Bhishma says, I am not your father, I am your father's father. So Arjun's remembering these moments with tender heart. Then Krishna told Arjun that sentiments are good, but it should not sway you away from the paths of duty. Remember that your obligation is for the whole world. You have to ensure that the rule of all of my relatives, so righteousness prevails there. What is your dharma at that point in time and how you should be acting? That is what one needs to understand in their life. Always we should be going into the emotional aspect of life and think from that perspective. Emotional aspect has to be there. I mean, we should always have love for our people. But here Arjun is showing love for our grandfather because when he was small, he started remembering all those things, And remembering those things shows his very compassionate heart that he had. And he was thinking about that, how I used to come running and then he used to say, Father, Father, Papa, Papa, mere ko god mein lo karke le. So he used to do that. And he's used to say that, no, I'm not your father, I'm your father's father. Like Bhishma is saying that. So those kind of very close relationship that he is showing there. You know, he's remembering that and he's showing that. But again, he has to come on the righteous path that Krishna is telling him that you have to come to the, have to come out of the bodily consciousness and come to the real path of your duty. What is your duty as a Kshatriya? And you have to understand that, further he will say that, that I'm ordering you, I'm asking you to do this, just do that. Don't use your brain anymore. Accept me as your guru and do what I'm asking you to do. So that's the ultimate, things which is going to happen. So Arjuna is showing very good, his behavior and his emotions in a very in the right way, and he's putting it very candidly in front of Krishna. And that he also remembers that, how Bhishma is start fighting, and for 9 days nobody could, even fight with him. But Yudhishthira remembered that what Bhishma had told me, that he can only be, when somebody who is not a man, either a female or a she-male, So in a very crude way, we can say that a eunuch, somebody who's a eunuch, H1 jisko bolte hain. So if that comes in front of him, then he will not shoot. So he can only be killed when he is stopped fighting, because what he sees in front of him is a person like Shikhandi. And see, all these things are created by Krishna, all his plans. So beautifully architected, everything. And you can see the architecture by Krishna is created in order to fulfill all the nook and corner of the world and to convey the right message to the readers, so that they understand everything with a proper logic and proper reasoning, and they are not bereft with the right knowledge. Just because I'm saying you do it, no, it's not saying that. There is a reason behind it, and that's what Bhishma tells Yudhishthira. And then when he's standing on the bed of arrows, that time Yudhishthira Maharaj goes and asks him various questions. That time Yudhishthira Maharaj, what he spoke was what was that, Madhuri? Vishnu Sahasranam. Vishnu Sahasranam. So that became the Vishnu Sahasranam, because that he tells him the 1,000 names of Vishnu or Krishna. Okay. It's almost 11:21. So I think we'll stop it today.
Yeah.
And please listen to the old lectures before coming to the class. It's good to have a repetition. It is not going to be harming you in any way. It doesn't take much time. If you have already attended the class, then you can run it in a 2x mode and listen it. 1.5x mode, then you can listen it. If you have good enough amount of time, then listen it in the proper normal speed as well. Yeah. Any questions? I think Madhvi couldn't attend the full class today. You had some duties at home.
I'm here, Prabhuji. It's just that there's some work going on in the house, so
okay.
I had
to.
I
thought so.
Even though it's the long weekend, this person decided to come, which is
Same here, that's the reason I wrote that message. If people are not interested, tell me before time, because then I can commit to my family as well. And because they also
Yeah.
get sometimes they get frustrated. Oh, you always have a class. You don't want to go anywhere. Don't take us out anywhere and all that. So I have to listen.
I was listening to what was being said. Only thing is, because he was moving around, I turned off the video.
I understand. I'm
Thank
not blaming you at all.
No. Even if you do, it's absolutely fine. I
That's so
understand.
nice of you to say that. I'm not blaming anyone. Okay, I think that's enough for today. And any questions before we end? So we are closing on 1.31 today. We'll try to finish this chapter as soon as possible. And because I think Saloni has to go somewhere early, as early as possible. So that's the reason I'm closing it soon. I heard when all of you were talking. So okay, let's do the Vaishnava Pranam and then we can close it. 1, 2, 3. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna.